Hello and welcome back to Cabin Organic. Today we want to give you a little tour of our cabin and property and what it looks like in the winter. So here we are. Here is a shot of the cabin. This is the front of the cabin from the road. Sorry about the noise in the background. That's our pet chicken, Henriette. She sits on my chair when I write in the evenings. Looking down the road, you can see that's the lake right across the road here from us, and it's really nice. We can enjoy lake living without actually being lakefront. And in the spring and summer when the trees leaf out, we've got a lot of privacy from the lake as well. And here's going the other direction down the road. This just leads to a small secondary highway. There's our garage coming up into our driveway. And straight ahead is the rock wall and the mound where we planted our second circular raised bed garden. And I'll put a link to that project below. But right now, everything is covered in snow. You can't even see the rock wall. All right, and walking up this concrete patio area. To the left of us is our herb and tea garden. It's covered in 2.5 feet of snow. And straight ahead is the patio, and it's covered in snow as well. I'll put links to those projects below in case you want to see what they look like in the summer. Straight ahead is the pond garden, covered in snow, and the circular raised bed garden out in the yard there. You can just barely make it out above the snow. And let's head up onto our deck. This is the right-hand side of our deck. As you can see, nothing's really set up right now, except a couple chairs. Chady and I like to come out here and sit in the sun. And it's actually really warm here during the day, so it's a really comfortable place to play. And walking to the left-hand side of our deck, and you'll remember this if you've seen the deck restoration project. I'll put a link to that below as well. It's a little junky right now. I never did finish cleaning it in the fall. The snow came and caught me off guard, and so now I'll just have to wait till the snow melts and give it a good scrub. Here we're looking out at our second circular raised bed garden. Put a link to that project below so you can see what it looks like. But we've got our blueberries and cherry trees and apple trees growing on this mound. Looking forward to seeing how they did over the winter. This will be their second winter. And now we'll just keep walking over here to the back of our property. We live on 1.7 acres. It's really a small patch of land. So it's amazing that we are able to do so much on such a small area. But it feels bigger because we are surrounded on 3 sides by protected land. In the back here, well, first this hill area, that's where we've planted a lot of berry bushes. You'll see that in the spring. And that's Brian's fifth wheel and Grandma and Grandpa's trailer in the back there. This used to be all woods, and Brian's dad cleared it and made a little home. So we have Grandma and Grandpa close by in the summers sometimes. Here we're approaching our greenhouse, and I'll put a link to the greenhouse restoration project in case you want to have a look at that. We use it to store all of our garden equipment in the winter. And now you'll see the brown tin shed. We have a new red tractor in there. A new old red tractor. We just bought it a month ago. So look forward to using that this summer. And here we're approaching our chicken coop. And I was going to open the gate so you can see inside, but I actually need 2 hands to open this gate. So I will show you in a different video when we show you the chicken coop. Now we're approaching a very large fenced-in yard, and this fence is dug 18 inches under the ground all the way around, so it is very safe from predators, which is very good because we put all the chickens in this middle yard, the middle area. And here's the does. We've got Bonnie, Lily, and Blue. All 3 are pregnant and due next month, so stay tuned for some cute baby goat videos. And in the back you'll see a goat barn that Brian started building in the fall, and he will finish it this spring. And we're going to go have a look at our boy goats. That's AJ, our Weather, the black and white. And that's Manny in the back. He's our buck. And these are all dwarf Nigerian goats. They're quite small, very easy to handle, very loving, very friendly, very interactive. Although the girls weren't very friendly just now, but they're very loving. And we try to spend a lot of time with them. But in the winter it's hard when it's really cold because they just huddle up in the barn and we huddle up in the cabin. Here's the back of that goat barn that Brian's building. You can see the bottom is actually the barn area for the girls, and the top is a hay loft. So Brian loads this up with bales of hay in the fall, and then all winter long he does not have to be hauling hay through the deep snow. So it is very wonderful, and it also keeps the barn a little warmer, having all that hay on top. Here you'll see this trampoline frame, and we use that to put chickens in. In the summer, we put it on a big umbrella in the middle and cover it with bird wire or bird netting, and then we can move it around wherever we want it. But we do have to be very careful with the predators around here. We've only lost one chicken, and she was free-ranging, so we weren't really keeping her very safe. And this plastic is starting to get pretty ratty. It's our third year using this same plastic. We really don't like to throw plastic away, so we've been reusing it. Down here I'm just showing the pop hole door. So in the spring, summer, and fall, we open this little door and the chickens can go out into the big yard. And this is where they don't free range, but they've got a much larger space to run around in. And I will throw in all my garden clippings and any sod that I've dug up, and they pick through it and eat the insects and eat the greens. So, and our property ends right at that post with the little square on it. And that noise, by the way, is our pet chicken, Henriette. She's standing right on the desk beside me. All right. And moving on, we'll just head over to our other small sheds. You'll see a teal shed right next door. Or actually, no, I'm going to stop at the coop here and have a little peek inside. See what the girls are up to. This is the end of winter, so the coop is looking really grungy. Every spring this gets a full cleaning head to toe. As you can see, I have eggs to collect. They've been laying all morning. I usually collect every 2 hours, but it is time for me to go and get those eggs. The chickens are happy. They're nice and warm in their yard, and that is an insulated, well-ventilated coop, so they're pretty happy in there. This teal barn, this teal shed, is an extra outbuilding, so we use that for chickens. We've used it for goats. We've used it to house sick animals in there, so it's really handy to have it. And this third building is actually an outhouse that our friends, the Lake family, gave us when they were finished with it, and we painted it, and Brian installed shelves inside. So that's our feed storage. So it's really nice to have everything close at hand for all the animals. And back here is our compost pile, literally just a pile. So this spring we're really looking forward to setting up a good, proper composting system. We're going to use pallets and set it up behind along this fence here. And moving on from here, heading towards the greenhouse, kind of skirting the back edge of our property. And one thing really unique about where we live is it's very hilly, and we have a lot of little canyons. So here is a little wooded path, and it leads, if you walk about a minute down this little wooded path, you will reach the wilderness area behind, and we're very lucky to live so close to Rundle Mission, and we have groomed cross-country ski trails back there, 4.6 kilometers of groomed cross-country ski trails. And if you don't want to ski, you want to snowshoe, no problem, because there are other smaller paths in the woods, and you can just strap on those snowshoes and go for as long as you want. Here is the fire pit area you can see on the right hand side. And in our fire pit restoration video, put a link to that below, I was trying to show you how this is like a peninsula and it drops down into this canyon. So here with all of the snow, you can really see the contours of the land, and that this is really cool. It's like an island, and then if you go past the edge, it just drops down into a canyon. This right side of the fire pit isn't quite as much of a drop, but it's pretty. And this is behind our cabin, and we have about 10 or 11 large spruce trees, and I call these the grandmothers and grandfathers. I love them. They're so large, and there is a bit of a danger. You don't want them falling down in our cabin, but I really couldn't think of cutting them down. I love these trees so much. They are such a presence, and I really feel watched over and protected by them. This is our dog Lucy, and I keep her tied up when I'm in the cabin because she does have a tendency to wander, and so it's just safer for her. But her rope is attached to an 80-foot line, and it's a clothesline, and she can just run back and forth. And I made it short enough that she can't reach the bird feeders, but she still likes to try to catch the squirrel. So this back area is right now being used as Chayton's play area. As you can see, we have his jungle gym there. I have a little wading pool that I set up for him, and he's got his trampoline. This spring, I also look forward to putting some garden boxes back here for him, and he can plant his own little garden and be in charge of his own plot. So that'll be a lot of fun for him because he loves plants and dirt. And then we're heading into the patio area, and we did a patio restoration video. I'll put a link to that below. You can see it in the summertime. But this is what it all looks like in the winter. And so it's not very exciting. There's not a lot happening, obviously. Not a lot of color, but it's still pretty. You know, we're out in the woods. We're out in the country. You can smell that country air. And we have that nice smell of lake air as well throughout the seasons. And it's just the beauty of nature. It's wonderful living out here. Just this morning, Brian and I were sitting at our dining room table, and we looked out, and there was 2 deer just walking down the road. It was lovely. I hope you enjoyed this tour of our property. I hope you'll subscribe for more videos by Cabin Organic.